Hello, friends. Happy Thursday. I'm so excited to be here today. I have got a fun card to do. It's one I really enjoy. And oh, let me grab the other ones so I can show you. So I had shown these cards from a card and coffee that I went to. And then I was asked to if I could show how to make these cards. So these are called triple time cards. They've been around for a really long time, and they're just so fun to do, and they're really cool because the design carries over from layer to layer. So these were really pretty. This was using a poinsettia stamp set that Stampin' Up! Has. I don't have this set. I'm going to be doing something different today. I mean, we're doing this card, but we're using different stamps. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Janna, and if you are a returning subscriber, I'm so glad that you are here. I really appreciate it. Today I'm going to be playing with this set, which is Homemade Treats. Um, it does have coordinating dies that I don't need to use today, but I'm going to show them to you. It's got a really cute cookie sheet in here. I'm also going to use a retired set. Actually, I'm just using the greeting, but I did make a card using this that I will show you at the end. This is a fun set. It's frosted gingerbread. And these are the dies that go along with it. You might be able to find it on eBay or somewhere. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I've got all my parts and pieces in here. And for right now, I need this piece, and this piece. And if you want to grab a pencil and a piece of paper, I will tell you what sizes these are. But keep in mind, you can make yours whatever sizes you want. But these ones, what did I do with my little piece of paper? Here it is. Okay, so we have got this piece, which measures 4 by 5 1/4. So these, you could just call these your stamping pieces, okay? If you want to make yours the exact same size that I'm doing. 4 by 5 1/4. The middle one is 3 by 4 1/4. And the smallest is 2 by 3 1/4. So each one is an inch smaller than the one before. So 4 by 5 1/4, 3 by 4 1/4, 2 by 3 1/4. All right, so that's the stamping layers. So the next thing that you're going to want to do, I don't advise using liquid glue for what I'm about to show you. Use Stamp Runner, or if you have like a removable double-sided tape, or maybe a yeah, just something like that. Stamp Runner, that's what I'm using. And all you want to do is put just a tiny little piece, a tiny eensy weensy little bit. I don't even know if you can see that, because these need to come back apart. So you don't want to permanently glue these together, but they do need to be able to be stuck together. And then you're just going to center it on the biggest layer. And I mean, if you want to get really precise, you could measure it, but I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay. And then Hello. Tell me your name. I know I ask you every time I see it. Her, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing with the little piece. I put just the tiniest little dab. A little dab will do ya. Okay, who can tell me what commercial that and what product that was from? A little dab will do ya. Okay, so there we go. All right, so let me see here. I am just going to bring in some paper here. The best stamps, in my opinion, that um, you want to use with this card style technique are solid stamps or two-step stamps. Um, Let me bring the poinsettia one back again. So these are two-step stamps, and what I mean by that is you have the outline of the flower and the leaves. It's all one thing. And then you've got the other stamp that comes along and fills in the color. Now you can use open line stamps if you want. And an open line stamp is one such as this that you would have to color in yourself, okay? It doesn't have another stamp to fill the color in. But if you use open line stamps and you have to go back while these are still stuck together and do all your coloring. So that's why using a solid stamp or a two-step stamp works best, I think, for this card. And I am using solid stamps, the homemade treats. And basically what I'm going to be doing is creating, like if we were creating our own background paper, that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to start with the little rolled out dough here. And I kind of don't want it as dark, so I'm going to stamp off one time, and I'm using pecan pie. So I'm just going to start stamping. And if you've never created your own background paper, you just kind of randomly stamp, turning your stamp this way and that way until you get the paper filled up. Now, let me hold this up closer. See how it's not getting all the design around where the edges of the paper are? Don't freak out about that because in the end, it's all going to be good, okay? Because it can't, what creates that is because we've got basically steps here, not a completely flat surface. So the stamp can't get in there to stamp all those little areas. Gonna get my cleaner ready here so I can just clean my stamps off as we go. Okay, let me see if I can set this here out of the way. Not so much, I'll put it over here. All right, so there we have that. And then before I put that away, I'm going to bring in the little gingerbread man and I'm going to stamp him because he's been baked now. We've cut him out of the dough. Now he's been baked, so he's a little bit darker. So I'm just going to stamp him full strength. Let's see. Maybe I will stamp one right there. I've got several designs I'm going to be stamping on here, so I don't want to fill it up too much with any one particular stamp. Pecan pie is not retired. Hi, Danita. Sophia. Okay, I need to write that down so that I will remember, hopefully, in the future. Sophia. Pecan pie is one that they put in with the main group of colors. So it's not like the ones that they have for a couple of years and then retire. Okay, so which one do I want to do next? I think I'll do well, maybe I better do the bigger ones. I'll do the mitt. I'm gonna do it with real red. And let's see. Okay. And while I have that out, I'm going to come in with the little candy cane. Mm. Let's see here. All right, next, let's do the rolling pin, and I'm going to do it with crumb cake. I need to leave some big space there for the piping bag. I think I'm running out of room. Okay, so we'll add a rolling pin in here. And I'll put a piping bag there. I can maybe put part of one there. Maybe I will put a rolling pin here. And I'll squeeze one in here. Okay. I know it kind of looks like a mess right now, but it's going to be cute in the end. It is a great color for gingers, for sure. The color that I loved before that they retired was cinnamon cider. I'll pull it out and show it to you. And I bought up a ton of paper of this cardstock when they retired it because I absolutely loved it. I still love it. So let me hold them up together so you can kind of see. Oh, I need to clean my stamp pads off. But so yeah, I just really, really love that color for gingerbread. I just think it's perfect. All right, so where are we? We need the piping bag. I'm gonna do it green. So I'm gonna use, actually I'm going to use shaded spruce because I'm thinking that some of the cookies that are being baked here are going to have green frosting. And this one is pretty dark, so I am going to stamp off once with this. And we will put this one here. And then I'm going to put one, the hint of one here. Oh, I didn't stamp that one off. That's okay. All right, so I think we're good with that. So we're done with all of those. So the only one I have left to do is the confetti. And I'm doing it green. So that worked out right that I went ahead and had it as my last color. And I'm doing it full strength. So I am just going to fill it in here and there. It's confetti, so it can be sprinkled all over the place. I need some over here. All right, I think that looks good. Well, yeah, that's the handle to the thing. That looks kind of weird there, but it will all come together. Let's just put a little bit here. Okay. So we are done with that. Let me see, what do I want to do here for the inside? I'm looking back at my other card. Okay, so while I have the green, I will go ahead and stamp my greeting here. And I've already got it mounted up. It's from the stamp set that we're using, and it is it's beginning to taste like Christmas. This is going to go on the inside of the card. You know what? Let me move this paper off so I can see. Get this as straight as possible. Okay. And oh, I didn't clean that one off. It's just helpful for me to clean these off as I go so I'm not sticking my fingers in them so much. Okay, so there's that. And then, well, I'll get this out again when I need it in a few minutes. I'm going to stamp one of the little gingerbread in here. Since we made our own patterned paper, I don't have any little strips or anything to cut to decorate the inside with, so we'll just do it ourselves. Isn't he cute? Okay, and we'll do a candy cane. Hi, Kelly. Yep, these are Stampin' Up. I'm using the homemade treats. I don't need to use the dies, but I'm just showing them to you, but it's the homemade treats bundle. And then I will show the other set, which is retired, that I used. Where'd my, oh, here it is. I'm looking all over for my candy cane and I had set it right there. Speaking of candy cane, oh man, I got a craving earlier today and I thought, I really want a candy cane. I'm not really supposed to have that kind of stuff, but it's Christmas and I thought I need to have at least one candy cane, I think. Even if it's one of the little ones, but there's a certain kind that I really, really like, and I can't remember what that is now. And I do think that I got them at, oh no, I don't think I know. I got them at Fred Meyer's, and they are just so yummy. Okay, so there's the inside. Let me wipe my fingers and make sure I don't have ink to pick up there. Okay, so now let me pull out the card base I did with Real Red, and it's a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I will go back in and write the sizes if you missed the beginning of these layers here. But again, keep in mind that you can do these any sizes you want. But these here, where'd I do with my paper again? Here it is. Okay, so we've got our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. I did the next layer in shaded spruce, and it is 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. And then our smallest layer is 3 1/2 by 2 1/4. Okay, but I will go back and add those sizes. So now we're going to take these apart. And I find, especially if you use like your ATG or probably the same thing with a tape runner, and remember we just used a little tiny bit, if you just twist it a little bit, they come apart really easy. So just give it a twist. There we go. And it didn't tear the paper. And if you want to roll the adhesive back off, you can, but we're going to be adding more adhesive anyway to add them to our layers there. Okay, so we can go ahead and add this piece. You just want to remember how your stuff lines back up. And if you want it to be like, say, this is how I want it to be on my card. So it wouldn't matter if I put it this way because I twisted and turned my stamps all around, but I really just kind of want it this way. So I know that my bottom piece needs to go like that. So let me get my adhesive on this. There's some other fun that you can have with these cards. You don't have to just do them this way. You could put them wonky on the front of your card or put the middle piece like at an angle. They don't all have to just be straight. And you don't have to use rectangles. You could use squares or circles or whatever you want to use. Okay, so we'll set that aside. And now I am going to use dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to put on the back of the littlest one. Now, if you don't have stamps, well, never mind. I'm not going to say that actually. Well, I'll tell you what I was going to say, but I've changed my mind. I was thinking that you could probably do this with patterned papers, but that would be really difficult. So never mind. Forget that I said that. Because the whole point is that the design carries over from one layer to the next. So this is going to go on our little red piece of. And when you get to putting these together, don't forget to put them on your colored piece of cardstock behind. You get so excited, or I do, that I want to just stick them together and that wouldn't work. It wouldn't work very good. Okay, so now this one is going to go on our green piece. And if you wanted to make them all one color, and I do have a sample where they're all one color, you know, the possibilities are just endless as to how you make your card. But the technique is to just have that illusion or whatever of the design carrying over from layer to layer. Well, that's a little wonky. Let me see if I can fix it. These things are so sticky, even if you don't press down, they are stuck pretty good. Let me hold it up and see if that will help. Okay, that's a little better. All right, now then, um, let me put, so we're going to put dimensionals now on the back side of the cardstock. And here's the thing, if you don't want to put dimensionals between your layers, you can make it totally flat. So that might make it easier for mailing. Because it does add width when you're separating all the layers with the dimensionals, or you could pop up the middle layer and not this layer. You could maybe leave this layer flat and just pop up the middle layer, or whatever you want to do. Okay, so let me turn this around because I can see that I had one turned one way and one turned the other. So we got to make sure that we are lining up the design. As even as possible. Okay. So now you can see that where the ink wasn't picking up doesn't matter because our little colored layers in between hides it. All right, so now let's put the dimensionals on this piece. Oh, helicopters flying over. Oh, Kelly, it's really easy and it's fun. That's the thing about this card is it's just really a fun one to do. Okay, so now we'll get this one on here and line it up. So cute. Okay. So now then, before I get too carried away with what I'm going to do on the top, we'll get this put to the inside. And like I said, if you don't have solid stamps or two-step stamps and you just have open line stamps, that's okay. Just make sure you do your coloring before you take your layers apart. Okay, so there's that. And then I've got a little scrap strip here. And this is from that other set, the retired set, which is Frosted Gingerbread. It's the Happy Holidays. And I am going to stamp it with real red. And I'm going to bring this in so maybe it won't slide around so much when I'm trying to stamp it. The glass mat is slippery and I can't get over the top of this stamp so good to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to do it and hope for the best. Okay, that's fine. Fine dandy, I'm happy with it. Husband was calling again. Hopefully everything is fine and dandy. All right, let's see here. I am going to snip this off. Danita, if you are still on here, would you call Ken and tell him I'm doing my video, please? All right, so there is that. And where'd my little finger dauber go? Here it is. I have my little finger dauber for my shaded spruce. And I could put another layer of cardstock behind this, you know, like it's layered up there, but I kind of just thought edging it with the ink was fine. There we go. And I am going to pop that up, which you could put on flat. You could do all your layers flat and not pop them up like I said. Then you wouldn't have to worry about it when you put it in the mail. I'm thinking for me mailing these, I'm going to have to put either one of those stamps that says that it has to be hand canceled, or an extra postage stamp on it, I'm thinking. Okay, so I made this one a little bit long, but that's all right. I could have cut a little more off of each end, but it's okay. So there's that, and then we have to add some embellishments, of course. So I've got the peppermints here. Real red and white adhesive backed peppermints is what they call them. And I am just going to scatter 3 of them around here. These are 3 sizes: large, medium, and small. Here's the cute little small ones up here under the top, and I will put one right there. So there you have it. That is a triple time card with a gingerbread baking theme. Happy holidays. It's beginning to taste like Christmas. Oh, I think it's cute. Maybe that's too busy for some of you. You could make it not so busy, but make sure when you are stamping that you're stamping on all 3 layers so that you can match them up. That's the whole point. I'm going to show you the other 2 samples that I made, and then I will bring back the poinsettia ones that I made at that Card and Coffee. Like I said, I don't have the These are really beautiful. I don't have that stamp set. Okay, so there's the one we just made, and here's the one I made yesterday that is like it. And then here's the one I made with the frosted gingerbread. And I did it in the pink and light green colors. I just think it's so cute. Oh, I forgot something. I could see the sparkle on the little candies that I put on there. I did add Wink of Stella to the peppermints, and probably it's not going to show up too good. Maybe it will. I don't know. It does take a little bit of time to dry the Wink of Stella when you add it to these because it's going on these little, whatever they are, plastic or clay bits. I'm not sure what they are. They kind of have a rubbery feel to me. So you just want to allow dry time for that. You could use like stickles or something too. Okay, so there we have that. I really love this one. I used Pretty in Pink is the pink I used on this. And the green is the soft sea foam. Cute. All right. So there's that. Now, in case you missed it when I've talked about it before, I'm not going to be, what I'm going to do is just let my Stampin' Up! Run out. Okay, so I've been ordering in stuff that I know that I'm going to want, like cardstock and different things like that, for myself. So as long as my minimum holds up, but I'm not going to be promoting, selling, basically. I will not pay for my online store after the middle of this month, so that's coming up pretty fast because I just want to be able to stamp and play with all the stuff I have available to me in my room here, which is a lot. So, while I love Stampin' Up! And I will still use Stampin' Up! Stuff, I'm going to be using a wide variety of other things too in my videos. So, um, if you have been ordering with me and you need the name of someone to order from, I can always give you my upline's name, so just let me know about that. And, um, yeah, so I just wanted you to be aware of that. And let me get the little book of Zen so we can have our story time. So this is the little book of Zen. There is no place to seek the mind. It is like the footprints of birds in the sky. No snowflake ever falls in the wrong place. Mind is the master. What hasn't been created by thought doesn't exist. That's interesting. Oh, look at that cute little picture. The mind is host, the body guest. Being is born of not being. Hmm. We'll stop with this one. One day, a student asked Ike no Taiga, what is the most difficult part of painting? Taiga, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Taiga said the part of the paper where nothing is painted is the most difficult. So there you have it. All right, please, if you have any questions about this technique or this, the information I gave you about me leaving Stampin' Up, just leave me a comment, and I will do my best to answer. I will go back in and put the measurements that I used in my samples, but don't forget that you can be creative and you can make your layers however you want. Make the little one set wonky. That's fun. Um, do it this way. It doesn't have to be this way. Um, yeah, just, it's all what your imagination can come up with, but this is the just simple, easy way, but look what great cards it makes, and they're just so fun. I mean, I can't say every card is really fun, I guess, but this one's really fun. So, anyway, thanks for being here, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and try this triple time card if you haven't ever made one before. And take care. Have a great weekend ahead, and I'll see you in my next video, okay? Happy crafting. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.